The negative power is powerful, but it's unsustainable. Like it's powerful for a moment. You have a moment of power, but then don't have sustainability of that. Or I don't think you can. I don't think it's possible to be sustainable with that. Whereas a positive energy, it can be growing every day. Or and there have been days where it has grown incredibly, but then there have been difficult days where I've been struggling, but it's been moments, little things that might happen that just change your energy anyway. I feel like it's far more sustainable to go for that positive energy than go to the negative.
Yeah, and I feel when you talk about positivity and negativity, exactly where you're coming from. I guess, the more you witness thoughts, feelings, daily behaviour, the more you'll become removed from calling them good or bad or positive or negative, because ultimately things are. And it's quite okay to experience the entire, positive sunshine all day, every day. It's terrible. You need changes in the weather. You need a range of emotions to experience it. Kind of it shows that you're still human and you're still in touch with what's important to you. Because and overall the overarching mindset, your words earlier, are that you can view the same thing with a lot of different mindsets. It can be fate, it can be terrible, it can be an opportunity to learn, it can be, in fact, something that you are going to create a whole lot of meaning and purpose from that you didn't see before. My father, similar, GBM4, grade 4, when he lived with it for 2 years, he was always talking about it in this, he never went into the fight language or into that sort of victim mentality. He always saw it as an opportunity and as a teacher. And it did, in fact, heal relationships within the family that I'm sure otherwise would never have been touched.
Absolutely. So
it became an incredible positive
opportunity
influence.
As well. It's a positive opportunity as well, because I do believe I will succeed, but of course there's always that doubt, you're always going to have that doubt because of what you've got. But I believe that if I just follow this energy, at least it's going to be a positive. Whatever happens is going to be positive.
Yeah, exactly. Now you'll remember the daily practice goes through 3 techniques, 2 breathing techniques, and then a small visualization.
Yes.
So in meditation, particularly from the yogic traditions, they talk about the space behind your closed eyes as Chittakash, or your mind's eye. And it's a place where they often focus, whether you call it Ajna chakra or your third eye, but they often use that for visualization purposes. Now, what the modern science tells you, and if you look at the work of Sarah Lazar, she was the first person to do scans on your head when you meditate and how it impacts you. So it's interesting that thousands of years have taken us to a place where
you can see
in 2010 this wonderful professor from Harvard, she's finally linked it all up and given validation too. And we know that as we visualize certain things, whether if it's an action, well, it wires through the brain as actually performing the action. And then if you're looking at words or symbols, they are a profound way to imprint our subconscious. And this is where you create things like an optimistic default in who you are. So some people just sort of ooze that, I don't know if it's positivity or good vibes or optimism, or, they have a sort of a resonant calm, and you'll often find, and Timmy Baker's a good example of this, you just love being around him because it feels good. And in meditation, particularly time spent in programming through time in your mind's eye, your mind is like an app, and if you're meditating or if you're doing work at home or if you're talking to someone who's important to you, you turn on that app in your conscious mind, but your subconscious is considered to be infinitely larger, and it's the basis from which all our unconscious behaviour comes. And let's face it, we don't actually think about much of our behaviour, how we talk, how we feel, what we do. It's all on autopilot. This is why mindfulness took off in such a way. It was like you get off autopilot and you become mindful or aware of what you're doing. And we can start to program that subconscious through that time in Chittakash. And you need a personal resolve. So a sankalpa, And a sankalpa is the Sanskrit word for that one word or a phrase, and you might like to think of this as a prayer or an affirmation.
Yeah.
And it's something that you then allow to resonate outwards.
Right.
And I dare say this is about time where you're starting to feel a bit of a buzz.
Yeah.
In healing meditations, either the Tai Chi tradition uses Qigong, or in yoga we call it Prana Vidya. We focus energy in one place, and then we drive it to the injury or the disease from there. And that's where you get those sensations. Sometimes they're warm, sometimes they're tingly, but you can feel, I guess, the aliveness of that life force as you learn to not control it, I wouldn't say, but maybe influence it or manage it a little bit, which is, it's an impressive...
Pretty amazing, isn't it?
Pretty amazing.
Yeah. But that's the power of the mind, isn't
Power of the mind. Yeah, a great servant, terrible master. Don't let it determine what we do and where we do. It'll take the easiest, sweetest path out. It won't be prepared necessarily to do the hard work. And it loves taking control.
Yeah.
Whereas we want to flip that, and who we are, it'll be a great tool and a great servant.
Yeah.
If we learn to harness a little bit of the power of the mind over matter.
Yeah.
It's been around for a long time. The whole medical industry is built on this anomaly called the placebo effect.
Yeah.
And, they found out in the Korean War, they ran out of antibiotics.
Yeah.
And made sugar pills and told the soldiers, if you take 2 of these twice a day, your infection in your leg, your wound will heal. And the success rate was as good as it ever was, even though they were just taking sugar pills.
That's right.
And like everything, it comes down to the point that, do you do it or do you not?
Yeah.
Like, it's wonderful to talk about it. How smart are we? The research says, do you do it?
Yeah.
Do you make time? And this is the beautiful accessibility of daily practice on something like an audio file.
Yeah.
5 minutes, and now you're at the point after a couple of weeks that you can do it without... And all of a sudden, you'll notice that, Jesus, how long have I been sitting here?
Yeah.
15, 20 minutes, maybe more, maybe less. Look, some of the brain scan research is showing as little as 2 minutes a day to reprogram.
Has an impact.
And to have an impact on different areas of the brain.
Yeah.
Which is extraordinary when you think about it.
It is, it's incredible, but it makes sense to me anyway.
Yeah.
Like, I feel better when I meditate, I feel like I've cleared my head, I feel... considering what's going on, and especially when I was doing chemo and radiation in the harder stages, meditation was one of those things that sort of made me feel better.
And it does allow you to, particularly in psychology with visualization, it allows you to explore the tough days with detachment. Yeah. So it's not who you are, but you can visualize how you would get over when things don't go well.
Yeah.